Hey everybody, happy Friday. Today's November 3rd, and it's also the feast day of St. Martin de Porres. He was a Dominican who lived in Peru. And today I find the topic of spiritual judgment kind of on my heart. Partly because I know that I'm really capable of doing that. I'm capable of judging other people for the way that they do or don't live out their own Christian faith. I'm like, well, that's not right, or you didn't do that right, or oftentimes it's because I have my own fears about if I'm actually doing things right, or I know somewhere in my heart that I'm not really fulfilling my calling to love God and love my neighbor as I should. Today in the gospel, Jesus does some healing in front of the Pharisees and scribes, and healing a man with dropsy, and he asks if it's good to heal somebody on the Sabbath or not, or wouldn't you, if your son fell into a cistern, wouldn't you go and get him out even if it was the Sabbath? And they don't say anything. Oftentimes we can be reduced to silence when we feel like we're wrong and we don't know what else to say, so we say nothing. But I find that I need to have good examples of what living holiness looks like, so that it does a couple of things. It gives me inspiration, but it also convicts my heart to say, if your whole heart isn't in it like that, then there's still work to be done. So today, St. Martin de Porres is one of those who does that for me, who really shows us what it looks like to live a life of real holiness. He thought of himself as the lowliest of his order. He's often depicted with a broom in his hands because he would do all of those sorts of tasks. He would sweep, he would mop. It was said that he could speak to mice. They would come to him in the back or the courtyard of the place where he stayed, and he was always among the poor, always there to help them. He would stay up with the sick. He was known also for bringing healing to the sick. This man lived out love of God and love of neighbor, and when he would think about the passion of Jesus, he would be reduced to tears. To me, that is a great example of holiness, of loving God and loving neighbor. And while our lives don't have to look exactly like St. Martin de Porres, our hearts should be totally given over to God. Or we should be striving for that and asking the Lord every day, Lord, what can I do today that I can give my will and my life more to you, so that I don't live for selfish reasons anymore? Because that's what I found, is that there's a lot of selfishness in my life. But with God's help, that can be overcome as well. But it's a day-by-day process. Let's ask the Lord today to help us to grow in holiness just for today, and that we might then be a light for others so that they can find the light of God in themselves as well.